This is CBS News New York.
Nothing but swift and unrelenting action, and we are just getting started.
Now at 11, political division on full display as President Trump addresses a joint session of Congress and the country. Some tense moments as a Texas congressman was escorted out after standing up and shouting at the president.
Tomorrow's a first alert weather day. I'm tracking heavy rain and powerful winds, plus the chance for severe weather in your first alert forecast.
And 3 masked people forced their way into a home in New Jersey as a mother and child hide inside. This is a CBS News New York exclusive. Good evening to you. I'm Christine Johnson. The president talked about everything from tariffs to war to government waste in his address to Congress tonight. He spoke for more than an hour and 40 minutes, the longest ever address to a joint session of Congress. Dick Brennan listened to it all, and he's here to break down what the president said tonight. Dick.
Indeed, Christine, President Trump unloaded on Democrats as he talked of his new policies. Some Democratic congressmen had boycotted the speech while most sat quietly through it, but others spoke up and even interrupted the president.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
President Trump addressing a joint session of Congress for the first time in his second term. Mr. Trump looking to tout his achievements after just weeks in office.
I return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back. Our spirit is back. Our pride is back.
But things quickly got tense and even unruly with an outburst from Democrats.
1-point jump.
And Congressman Al Green of Texas was escorted out of the chamber.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House. Mr. President, you continue.
The president touted some of his most controversial moves as Democrats sat stone-faced.
An immediate freeze on all federal hiring, a freeze on all new federal regulations, and a freeze on all foreign aid.
And he also addressed tariffs that he just instituted against Mexico and Canada and doubled ones on China. Critics say it will promote inflation, but Trump has decided to double down on the policy.
And whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth.
Trump said he received a letter from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who indicated he's willing to work towards peace.
Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer.
The president took the time to salute his head of government efficiency, Elon Musk, and went on at length about what he claims were cuts to government waste, as Democrats waved signs that said lies and false. All the while, the president claimed he hopes to balance the federal budget.
But we're going to find out where that money's going, and it's not going to be pretty.
In an emotional moment, President Trump saluted the family of NYPD Detective Jonathan Diller, who was shot and killed by a gunman in Far Rockaway last year. His wife, Stephanie, was in the gallery.
And we're going to get these cold-blooded killers and repeat offenders off our streets, and we're going to do it fast.
In light of the wildfires in California and across the country, the president saluted firefighters.
Our firemen and women are unbelievable people, and we'll never forget them. And besides that, they voted for me in record numbers, so I have no choice.
The president made a lot of claims tonight. He said he will build up the U.S. Navy, taking back the Panama Canal, and as he put it, get Greenland one way or the other. Senior administration officials told CBS News Trump was heavily involved in the writing of his speech, making his own edits. Christine.
Okay, Dick, thank you. Michigan Senator and former Congresswoman Elissa Slotkin just finished the Democratic response minutes ago. The economy was among the issues she focused on.
We just went through another fraught election season. Americans made it clear that prices are too high and that the government needs to be more responsive to their needs. America wants change, but there's a responsible way to make change and a reckless way. And we can make that change without forgetting who we are as a country and as a democracy. Look, the president talked a big game on the economy, but it's always important to read the fine print. So, do his plans actually help Americans get ahead? Not even close. President Trump is trying to deliver an unprecedented giveaway to his billionaire friends. He's on the hunt to find trillions of dollars to pass along to the wealthiest in America. And to do that, he's going to make you pay in every part of your life. Grocery and home prices are going up, not down, and he hasn't laid out a credible plan to deal with either of those.
Slatkin, who is a first-term senator, also accused the president of getting too cozy with Russian President Vladimir Putin. To watch the president's full address to Congress and the Democratic response, head to cbsnewyork.com. You can also find a fact-checking of his remarks there. Happening tomorrow, Mayor Adams will testify on Capitol Hill about the city's sanctuary city status. He's expected to appear before a House committee, along with the Democratic mayors of Boston, Chicago, and Denver. The Trump administration has targeted sanctuary cities, which typically have a broader range of protections for immigrants and those who are undocumented. In an opinion piece in the New York Post tonight, the mayor doubled down on his stance, saying that the city can continue to reduce crime even as a sanctuary city. However, he did say that the status does not give New York City the authority to violate federal immigration laws. You can watch the full hearing streaming on CBS News New York. It will start tomorrow at 10 a.m. And our political reporter, Marcia Kramer, will also be there. See her reporting on the mayor's testimony right here on CBS News New York. Our weather team is designated tomorrow as a first alert weather day. Heavy rain, wind gusts, all expected in the forecast. Vanessa Murdoch joins us now. Vanessa, when does all this move in?
Well, we'll have some showers early, but the brunt of the rocky weather is 3 until about 10 p.m. tomorrow night, hence our first alert weather day. Christine mentioned it, heavy rain 1 to 2 inches possible, gusty winds, but we have the potential to see or experience winds as high as 60 miles per hour. We could have an isolated severe storm as well. Overnight tonight, we're just dealing with increasing clouds and mild temperatures, 46 degrees. For your day tomorrow, it's going to be warm before the brunt of the action rolls in. 57 degrees, morning showers north and west, and then that afternoon, heavy rain and wind. Let's time it out for you. 9 a.m., here are those showers, mainly north and west. As we approach 3 p.m., now we're starting to see the showers move in, the heavier action. Then the most powerful line pushes into the city, approaching the 6 p.m. hour, continues its trek in the easterly direction, is over the island around 9 o'clock, and then after the midnight hour, it is out of here with just some lingering showers. We'll look more at this system as well as what's beyond our first alert weather day in my full forecast. Christine, back to you.
We'll see you then, Vanessa. Our first alert weather team is going to stay on top of tracking the storm. To get the very latest on the forecast, tune in starting at 4:30 a.m. Also, our weather team will bring you updates as the storm moves in tomorrow at 3 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Some breaking news happening in Brooklyn here tonight. A child now in critical condition, and police say fentanyl is suspected. The 4-year-old boy was found at a family shelter on Glenwood Road in the Flatlands neighborhood around 8 this morning. No word on how the child came into contact with the drug, but we were told that drug paraphernalia was found at the scene and the child's parents are in custody. Investigators were at the scene outside the shelter gathering evidence earlier tonight. Also here tonight, a New Jersey family living in fear after a terrifying home invasion. As Naveen Dhaliwal reports, the 3 suspects were likely looking for keys to high-end cars.
A home invasion captured on a doorbell camera early Sunday morning shows the terrifying moments as 3 suspects barged into an Edison home.
Very difficult for me to watch and to relive. My stomach turns every time. They came in with no fear.
This woman, too frightened to show her face on camera, says she woke up as her fiance was confronting the men who had made it inside. At 4 months pregnant, she grabbed her 10-month-old son and hid in a bathroom.
I'm just hearing a lot of commotion downstairs, the dog barking, my fiance screaming, the men screaming.
Police say the confrontation spooked the suspects and they took off, leaving the homeowner unharmed. Now, Edison police say on that same morning, the 3 suspects also tried to burglarize a home in Woodbridge and another in Metuchen, hoping to break in and take the keys to luxury cars parked in driveways. Police are suggesting you keep your car keys in a secure place in your home, saying they should not be near your front or back doors and you should not leave them on your kitchen counters.
Hopefully now families can see this and keep their loved ones safe, you know, arm your homes, make sure that the alarms are on.
A new reality for this young family as they try to move on.
It's not going to be an easy road, but luckily we're all safe and unharmed, so I'm grateful for that.
In Edison, New Jersey, Naveen Dhaliwal, CBS News, New York.
And that terrifying break-in comes the same week police put the brakes on a large car theft ring on Long Island. After a multi-county investigation, Suffolk County Police arrested 13 people in a group calling itself CC Boys. CC standing for the car checking they did in high-end neighborhoods, country clubs, and assisted living facilities. Police say they looked for unlocked doors so they could steal wallets or even the entire car.
Use real estate apps such as Zillow and Realtor. So they would go in the middle of the night, steal the credit cards, and then immediately go to the store to charge and use those cars before the victims knew what was going on.
The suspects were caught after police say they recognized images the group posted on social media. The alleged ringleader was caught with 20 key fobs, 122 driver's licenses, 45 stolen credit cards, and more than a dozen social security cards. Still ahead, a beloved EMS lieutenant who needed help left behind by first responders.
He was my brother. Like, I don't care what time of night it was, he knew I would answer the phone.
In a CBS News New York investigation, we look deeper into what is supposed to happen when you call 911. Plus, a frightening act caught on camera as someone starts a fire on a sidewalk in the Bronx. And here is Otis with what's coming up in sports.
All right, Christy, what a year it's been for Saquon Barkley. The decision to join the Eagles continues to pay off in a big way. A Super Bowl, and now he'll be getting a super paycheck. And it was one of those nights for Steph Curry. Even he couldn't explain the buckets he was getting at the Garden. The chef was cooking up the Knicks.
Just imagine seeing this outside your building. Someone pouring gasoline on a sidewalk in the Bronx and then setting it on fire. Happened around 2 o'clock this morning. Surveillance video shows a suspect with a rolling basket walking up to a building on Rochambeau Avenue near 212th Street in the Norwood section. The building's property manager says that she doesn't recognize the man.
I'm just scared. I am really scared for the tenants and for myself. As of for right now, because this guy's wandering around and he can come back and do the same thing against our property.
Security video also shows 2 bystanders putting out the flames. Police say no one was hurt, and they're searching for the person responsible. An outpouring of love and support for an EMS lieutenant who dedicated his life to saving New Yorkers. Family and colleagues said goodbye to Lieutenant Nelson Seto on Monday. Tragically, he died last month when he needed help during a medical emergency. And critics say first responders left him behind. Tonight, as the FDNY reviews what went wrong, investigator Masa Saidi is looking into what is supposed to happen when you call 911.
You know, he never shortchanged the job. He always gave it 110%, you know, and that's why I just can't believe it.
For more than a decade, EMS Lieutenant Nelson Seto responded to medical emergencies across the city. On February 17th, friends say he had finished a 12-hour shift. The 42-year-old was off duty back at home in Brooklyn when he called 911.
It's something I can't get out of my head. What if he heard them leave?
EMS Lieutenant Anthony Almagera was Seto's contact in the union.
You heard that 911 call?
I did.
What did he say?
I can't breathe. I'm having trouble breathing. And he could barely say that.
In 911 records, the dispatcher states the caller is having difficulty breathing and can't speak in full sentences. 12:10 p.m., EMTs quickly arrive on scene. Seto doesn't answer the door. EMTs ask dispatch to call him. Seto doesn't pick up. At 12:14 p.m., just 4 minutes after their arrival, EMTs mark the call unfounded and leave. His body later discovered by relatives. On Monday in Brooklyn, family and colleagues came together to honor the life and service of Lieutenant Seto. The department says they're mourning the loss, and it's likely there will be changes to FDNY protocols as a result. But what's the protocol now, we asked, and was it followed? The department would only say it's under investigation.
Protocol was broken.
The protocol was broken.
the procedure in place since 1999. According to the operational guide, EMTs must make every attempt to gain access before asking dispatch to call FDNY. The ranking officer has the authority to force entry. The call should not be closed unless you get access and no patient is found.
Breaking down doors is every day almost. Every day.
Then how do they not know that?
I can't get into their heads. I don't know how they absorbed information. The dispatcher, who I'm told has experience, should have known.
He was my brother.
Lieutenant Ronald Wolf was Seto's closest friend and former partner.
I just wish I could have been there to help. Like, that's the thing that when he needed somebody the most, I wasn't able to be there, and that bothers me. That just plays in my mind.
As the years passed, Wolf says their bond grew.
Like, when we met, you know, we became partners. You know, I'll be honest with you, I didn't think too much of it. And then as we worked together more, and then our bond grew, and then it was just like, I couldn't picture being in a department without him.
Side by side at every stage, from EMT to paramedic.
I remember saying, now, you know, the list numbers came out for medic. You know, I don't know if we're going to be in there together. I hope so. And I remember him saying, no, we're going to be there together. Don't worry about it. Just trust we're going to be there together. And sure enough, that was the case. You know, the same thing for Lieutenant. God saw fit to put us together again, you know, and I'm very thankful for that. Very thankful for that.
Lieutenant Wolf accompanying Lieutenant Seto a final time.
He was a consummate paramedic. He spent nights, days studying to perfect his craft, to make sure that when he got that call, that he wouldn't let anybody or their family down. And I want every New Yorker to know that.
And what he wants his best friend to know.
I will never forget the ride that we had together. I'll never forget that ride. I'll never forget it.
So powerful. I'm told on that 911 call, Lieutenant Seto identified himself as a member of EMS. If dispatch would have noted that, they didn't. An EMS officer would have been sent to his home as a sign of respect. Of course, that could have potentially prevented this because he would have said to knock down the door. Meantime, we've learned the dispatcher involved has been suspended without pay for 5 days, and the responding EMTs will be trained. KJ, retrained. I'm told there's a lot of turnover in this agency. Pay is an issue. How they're treated is an issue, so people don't stay, and that could be what caused some of this as well, and we're going to be looking into that for future reports.
It really is such a tragedy, and the emotion so raw, given, you know, how quickly they, you know, everything happened, and they're still recovering. The funeral just yesterday. Tell me this, though. Do EMTs always have to make contact with a patient before they close a call, so to speak?
So there's two exceptions. I'm told one is if you respond to the street and no one is there, obviously you can close the call. There's no one on the street. Or if it's in an apartment building with lots of units and you have no way of finding out what unit the person was in, you call, they don't pick up, there's no super to help you, then you can also just walk away. But in this situation, when there was a home and somebody can't breathe and they desperately need help,
yeah, it just doesn't make sense, does it?
It does not make sense.
All right, Masa, clearly they need to review some policy there. Thank you for bringing this to our attention and also the story. If there is something that you want Masa to investigate, you can contact her by scanning the QR code there on your screen. Let's get a look at our First Alert forecast because we have a First Alert weather day, some important issues to talk about. Vanessa is here to break it all down. Vanessa.
Yeah, very calm tonight, which is lovely. It's mild as well. We've got a gorgeous live picture for you right now. Skies are mostly clear. Your temperature of 46 is the normal afternoon high. Winds are out of the south at 8, and those southerly winds keep us mild tomorrow. But of course, tomorrow afternoon will be all about the wet and windy weather rocking through the region. Now, what happens beyond this system is that temperatures stay warm for Thursday. By Friday, it's back to seasonable in the 40s. Let's break down your Wednesday timeline. Again, it is a First Alert alert weather day. Through the morning hours, no big issues. Some showers around, mainly north and west. But as we move into the afternoon, 3 o'clock through 10 p.m., this is when we have a powerful line moving through the region, bringing gusty winds, maybe damaging winds in some very isolated cases, heavy rain that could lead to some localized flooding, maybe an isolated severe thunderstorm as well. Beyond 10 p.m., we're going to have still breezy conditions out there and some leftover showers. Obviously, late night is better, but your evening commute tomorrow could be challenging at times. Here's the responsible storm system. It is massive, bringing blizzard conditions to some out west. And then as we look at the system, this comma shape goes all the way down into the Gulf. There have been extensive reports of damage as a result of this storm system. For us, maybe some isolated damage tomorrow. Hour by hour, let's take you through the forecast. Again, the morning is fine, cloudy, mild, but as we move through the morning hours, just a few showers. 3 o'clock, here you see it's the powerful line beginning to get its action together. 7 p.m., the line is over the city. The winds are cranking, and then it's pushing to the east. Overnight Wednesday into Thursday, residual showers. Thursday, a mix of sun and clouds, still breezy, and maybe late in the day, a passing flurry well to the north. Now, the wind's going to be a major factor, as mentioned. Here you see the winds gusting tomorrow, 3 o'clock, up to 35 miles per hour. But as that line moves through, here you see 10:30, when the line is to the east, gusts could reach that 50-plus mile per hour mark. And then as we roll into the day on Thursday, they calm a bit in the morning, but by afternoon, winds are once more gusting beyond the 30-mile-per-hour mark. So winds will be a factor. The rain will be a factor as well as we make our way through the next couple of days. Tomorrow's a first alert weather day, 57 degrees before the rocky weather moves in. Then for Thursday, 53 degrees and breezy. Friday, seasonable, 48, a mix of sun and clouds, a few showers. Saturday, 46, and Sunday, seasonable still as we spring forward and lose that hour of sleep.
Yes, and we try to adjust.
Yes, we
that.
do.
Okay, Vanessa, thank you. We'll be ready for tomorrow. Otis joins us next.